Good evening, North Hollywood Church of Religious Science family. Those of you that are here in the sanctuary, as well as all of you that are online, welcome to the Heart of Healing service. My name is Mark Crowell. I am a practitioner here at the North Hollywood Church, and I am just thrilled to be with you tonight. As you know, we start every evening, Wednesday evening Heart of Healing service with a meditation. To prepare for that, I would ask all of you here in the sanctuary to please, with whatever device you might have in your possession, please put it on the do not disturb or the silent mode, or if you must, turn it off. Although we do encourage people taking pictures and things like that to post on social media. So thank you in advance so that we can enjoy our time together uninterrupted. So as we turn within for meditation, I just invite you to be quiet, to close your eyes. And if you'd like to use a mantra, we suggest, God is the love that I am. And we'll be in meditation for 10 minutes. And if your mind wanders during the meditation time, which it will, just gently and lovingly bring it back with that mantra. God is the love that I am. Welcome, everybody. So if you've just joined us, if you joined us during the meditation, I want to welcome you to the Wednesday night Heart of Healing service. I am practitioner Mark Crowell, and I'm thrilled to be with you. And now, Tony is going to lead us in our opening chant.
Welcome once again. Please stand and join us in singing our opening song.
I am open. I am open. I am open to receive the love in you and me. I am open. I am open. I am open to receive the love in you and me. You are open. Come on. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the love of you and me. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the love of you and me. We are open. Come on. We are open. We are open. We are open to receive the love of you and me. We are open. We are open. We are open to receive the love of you and me. The love in you and me. The love in you and me. The love of you and me.
All right, please be seated. And as you settle in and you get comfortable, I invite you to consider these words. There is a power and a presence in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. It is a power for good and a presence of infinite love and peace. So now, join with me as we celebrate that power and that presence. I want everybody to just, again, settle back in and turn within. Feel connected to the earth. Allow that energy from the earth to just rise up through your legs, to your core, to your heart chakra. And then also, open at the top, the crown chakra. Open up and let that energy from sky enter into your being. Feeling fully connected to every aspect of the universe, gaining strength and rising up, knowing that you are intimately an embodiment of and connected to God, Source, Spirit, showing up in our lives as love and light, goodness, wholeness, prosperity, beauty, joy, peace, and grace. Each and every person that is gathered here tonight, they bring their Christ consciousness with them. And it is so good. You are each and all an embodiment of that Christ consciousness, manifesting goodness and love and light and wholeness within your sphere of influence, within your circle of everyone that you come into contact with. And I know our time tonight is absolutely blessed, that we are absolutely inspired in community, wherever two or more are gathered together, that we rise up, we grow in love, we grow in wisdom, we grow in goodness, we grow in compassion, we grow in kindness as a result of coming together. It is so good. And I know that Mark Crowell, who's that guy? He is that vessel to allow that spirit to just flow from him to each and every person that hears his voice. Little schizo theirs, huh? Anyway, I know that our time together is absolutely blessed, that we are made better that this experience is enriched because of the musical ministry and the service of every volunteer and all of the practitioners that are present, whether they're online or whether they're here in the room. And so with a heart full of joy and gratitude, I release my word into the law of mind, knowing it is done. And so together we say, Amen. So now please join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And now, please join me in saying the Statement of Being for December 2024. I don't know if we have it on the screen. Okay. So just, if you don't have a copy of it in the program, just listen. This is the day, this is the moment, and I say a resounding yes to living fully, freely, and enthusiastically. I know myself as Spirit knows me, creative, inspired, unique, and worthy. I have a divine assignment, and that assignment is joy. That assignment is compassion. That assignment is light. As a channel for greater ideas and greater expression, I know that nothing can block my expansion or my expression, because nothing can block God. I am lifted up, and I am loved, and so it is. Amen.
Hello, y'all. Grateful to be here this evening. As we step out of where we come from, walking tall and who we become, being seen for all that we are is just one part of our love. I see you and you see me. We welcome each other to our destiny. All that we're here to express and nothing less. We're here to share our brilliance. Oh, I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We made a great place to dance. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We made a great place to dance. A safe place to land. I'll be your safe place to land. So we're walking through our new garden that we came here to cultivate, out of seeds that we'd planted long ago, through the winds of change and fate. I see you and you see me. We welcome each other to our destiny. All that we're here to express and nothing less. We're here to share our brilliance. Oh, I am your safe place to land. You are my safe place to land. We made a great place to dance. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We made a great place to dance. A safe place to land. I'll be your safe place to land. So we'll walk through a new ground. Oops, I screwed up. Okay. So we're grateful for all that we've been through, 'cause it brought us to where we are. And we wouldn't have wanted something else to replace this loving heart. 'Cause I am you and you are me. We thank you, God, for all that we are here to be. All that we're here to express, and nothing less. We dedicate and you bless. Oh, I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We made a great place to dance. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We've made a great place to dance. Oh, I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We've made a great place to dance. Safe place to land. I am your safe place to land. Safe space to land. I'll be your safe place to land.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm going to come back to that theme about being a safe space to land, safe space to be. Anyway, I am so thrilled tonight to be able to give another talk. I've told several people that in terms of my spiritual practice, sort of preparing for and delivering these talks has just taken me geometrically higher and higher in terms of my spiritual evolution. So I thank you so much for just allowing me to sort of be present and share my thoughts with you. I do want to offer a caveat about tonight's talk. And the caveat is, if you've ever heard me speak before, you know I am firmly anchored in the principle that we teach here. The whole idea that there, as I quoted earlier in the notes, you know, there is, as Ernest Holmes taught us, there is a power in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. A power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. And I absolutely believe that that is so. And I know that we co-create with Spirit and the law to create our human experience. I absolutely believe that's true, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And my previous talks have focused an awful lot on us being those spiritual beings. Tonight's talk's going to be a little different. I'm going to talk quite a bit much more about the human experience and how that contributes to our spiritual development. And so I just wanted to give you that warning might be too strong a word ahead of time, but that caveat ahead of time. And I will circle back around to more the mystical, more about the spiritual dimension of what we are going through on the human plane right now. But it'll be a bit of a journey. I also want to thank my friend Nirut Sirarux, who many of you know, a young man from Thailand. He gifts me these beautiful outfits, and kind of doing these talks is my opportunity to wear these. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? Anyway, Nirut is in Thailand right now with family, dealing with some personal health issues and some family health issues. He just found out his father was diagnosed with colon cancer, so please keep Nirut and his father in your prayers. We know that that makes a difference and it will manifest healing. Anyway, so let me begin. This title of the talk, "We Are Faithful, Therefore We Are Unafraid," is not something that I just made up or came to me through Spirit or my meditation. It's actually from a story of a book that I'm going to be referencing quite a bit tonight called Who Do We Choose to Be? But I don't want to start talking about the book quite yet. I want to tell you this story that's in the book. We are faithful, therefore we are not afraid. We are faithful, therefore we are not afraid. This is a mantra used by the Leadership Conference of Women Religious, LCRW. I can remember that acronym because I'm a member of KCRW. Many of you might be as well. Anyway, LCRW, Leadership Conference of Women Religious. It's the Catholic nuns and sisters. And this mantra was used particularly in a story that's told in this book. Now, again, another caveat. I know many of us might be triggered by the whole concept of nuns. You know, I was raised in the Catholic faith. I went to Catholic grade school from 1st through 8th grade. I have plenty of stories that are part of my human journey about trauma that I experienced being sort of taught and coached and whatever by the nuns. I would just ask you, if that's also your experience and you're turned off by the whole concept of nuns, I ask you to be open to some of the principles and the teachings that this story represents. The use of the mantra became widespread as a result of several key investigations of Catholic women religious in 2009 and then 2012 by the Vatican. The investigation in 2009 involved all the nuns and sisters in the U.S., 50,000 nuns and sisters in the U.S. As the story in the book recounts, it's no accident that these investigations came about just as the pedophilia scandals were sort of hitting their climax. And again, it's the author's premise that, as oftentimes happens with people in power, that when they're feeling threatened, that they find a victim. And so the women religious became sort of the target of the Vatican to sort of try to deflect attention from the pedophilia scandals. And what the accusation was that the women religious had become too secularized, too feminist, too radical. And so they were actually ordered in 2012. The leaders of the LCRW were brought to the Vatican, and they were surprised by the mandate from the powers that be that they had better straighten up, my language, not the formal doctrine that they were asked to sign. And they were given 5 years to get their house in order, so to speak. Or, and there's a big question mark, what would the or be? And so this was very, very troubling to the women religious. But the women religious wound up becoming, I'm going to use the word victorious in this battle. And it was supposed to be a 5-year process from 2012, supposed to conclude in 2017, but it concluded earlier, in part because Pope Francis was named the Pope, and he had a very different approach in terms of his leadership style with the hierarchy. But it got resolved in 2015 in their favor. LCWR's journey into increased faith-based integrity is a long and complex tale filled with examples of extraordinary leadership and grace. So I'm going to read just a couple of quotes from the book that illustrates what the author took away, because the author is a consultant that worked with this particular leadership group and has worked with many leadership groups around the world. And so this is what the author writes about her experience of working with these women leaders. I can only describe their 3-year journey as a walk in ever-deepening faith. The sisters were well prepared for this. A few years prior, in another difficult situation, one of them had responded to a challenge by voicing what now became their mantra: "We are faithful, therefore we are not afraid." Each time they encountered opposition, dealt with meanness, felt betrayed, stood their ground, and became weary, it was their faith that supported them. And so it deepened, and in contemplation, showed them the way forward. Then in another section of the book, the author writes, LCWR's journey was the steadiest and most enlightened embodiment of leading from integrity that I have ever witnessed. We are faithful, therefore we are unafraid. And I just read again this description of what they were battling. Each time they encountered opposition, dealt with meanness, felt betrayed, stood their ground, became weary, it was their faith that supported them. Now, those descriptions of what they were facing, does it feel familiar? Some of you are feeling it right now. I am. In terms of what we're dealing with in terms of our leaders. And I'm not going to make this a political message, but I think many of us are feeling some meanness, divisiveness, etc. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do is follow some of the stories and the examples of these women religious and other examples that I'm going to share with you tonight in terms of how we find our way forward. That's what my journey has been since early November. And so it came to me as I was thinking of preparing for this talk. What should I talk about? I'm going to just share what I've been going through in terms of my process in dealing with, I think, where we are at this moment in time. Oh, I have to share this, though. So this is the picture in April of 2015 of the leaders of the LCRW meeting with Pope Francis, where everything got resolved. And again, the women were able to hold on to their autonomy. The Pope and the other powers that be validated that their mission was a good one, that they hadn't become too secular, that they are absolutely living the mission that they had determined was their mission, that Christ consciousness in terms of giving and service. Anyway, I just love that. It was, again, very redemptive for them. So who's the author of this book that I'm quoting? Her name is Margaret or Meg Wheatley. I know her as Meg Wheatley. Any of you know her work? She's, I came into contact with Meg's work in my corporate life in the mid-1990s. Again, my professional role was in what's called organizational development, which is really just how do you help leaders, how do you help teams, how do you help organizations, how do you help communities improve, grow, evolve, get better. That's really at heart what organization development does. And Meg Wheatley is one of the giants in our field. And she wrote several books. The one that I got acquainted with in the mid-1990s is called Leadership and the New Science, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But, you know, Meg, she started in the Peace Corps in 1966. She's been a speaker, a teacher, consultant, advisor, and she wrote that book, Leadership of the New Science, and she wrote this book, Who Do We Choose to Be, which is what I've been studying since. I've known about this book for a long time, but it frankly scared me. But because of the events in early November, I decided now is the time to do a deep dive into it. So this is the book that introduced me to Meg and to the work. Really, at its essence, what the book was about is in this quantum world that we were discovering in mid to late 20th century, it taught us new ways of looking at living systems. And what Meg's book did is she said those principles of how we know that living systems operate at the quantum level, we have to apply them to organizations, because every living system behaves in this way. One of the tenets of a living system is that it is self-organizing and self-managing, which just means that those old management models that many of us were familiar with, if any of you had a corporate life, that command and control. We've got these procedures and these structures and these rules, and if you violate them, you're out, or you're punished, or you're written up, etc. And Meg's like, no. People, if they have a sense of what their mission is, let them self-organize and get out of their way. Leaders have a role to play, but living systems self-organize and self-manage. The other tenet is that Every living system must grow and evolve or it dies. Therefore, again, you've got to encourage and manifest change. And another tenet, and there's many, but the three that are relevant, I think, to our teaching and our faith is everything is connected. So, something that you're going to do in the one department that might be in a completely different part of the country than another country, know that the change that you implement there is going to have a ripple effect somewhere else. So these are things that we've now come to know as just givens, because it's 20, 30 years later. But at the time, this was revolutionary. And I just sucked on this. I grabbed these teachings because it made so much sense. And it wasn't a coincidence, I don't think, that I became a member of this church in 1995, just as I was starting to become acquainted of this work by Meg Wheatley. But anyway, so I've been a huge fan of hers for many, many years. But then this book, Who Do We Choose to Be, is what really was the eye-opener. Meg shifted away from her organizational development work about 20 years ago when she realized that a lot of these large system change projects that she was attached to, they just weren't bearing fruit. And she realized, or came to the conclusion, that large system change just doesn't work. What we should start to focus on instead are our own circles of influence, our spheres of influence, the people that are around us, the people that are in our community, the people in our neighborhoods. What can we do to be of service to them? How can we all band together as a community to try to make things better? There's an early story, and many of you may have heard this, because again, it's been around a long time. The old cliche, you'd look at a glass that was half filled with water, and you say, an optimist sees this as half full. A pessimist sees this as half empty. Meg's tenet was, I see a glass half full of water. Who needs water? Who's thirsty? It's the whole idea of don't just reflect on some general concept about whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. I've got some resource here. Let's find somebody that needs it. Anyway, that's where her direction shifted. What she introduces, and you can see from the subtitle, Who Do We Choose to Be? Facing Reality, Claiming Leadership, Restoring Sanity. You get a flavor for what she describes. But one of the key concepts that she's been working on for a long time, and this is based on the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, because that is Meg's sort of spiritual practice, Tibetan Buddhism. One of her mentors, and this book is dedicated to a teacher that many of you, I think, follow, Pema Chodron, who is, again, a Buddhist American nun. The book was dedicated, and Pema is one of Meg's mentors and teachers. The concept that Meg introduces is called Warriors for the Human Spirit. And this is the concept that was a little scary to me for a long time, for as long as I've known about it. And I won't go into the details about why it's scary, but if you're interested in the concept as I discuss it with you, I am happy to talk about it with you, because I am kind of going down this road now. So these are some quotes from the book to give you a flavor of what she means and represents by warriors for the human spirit. Warriors arise when the people need protection. And this is based on, again, a Tibetan Buddhist prophecy called the, Shambhala warrior. I had to check my notes. The Shambhala warrior, which has been the prophecy, the story has been around for centuries. But she has sort of reformulated it, reframed it. She is now the leader and a facilitator for a group of people around the world who identify themselves as warriors for the human spirit. And in the book, she says, we need leaders who are committed to serving people who recognize what is being lost in the haste to dominate, ignore, and abuse the human spirit. Now it is up to us, not as global leaders, but as local leaders. We can lead people to create positive changes locally that make life easier and more sustainable, that create possibility in the midst of global decline. So the reason this is scary is, I'll just let you know, it's quite a downer. as you read the book, she's been a student looking at civilizations since the dawn of time, things being recorded, Rome, Greece, Mayan civilizations. And they all follow a predictable pattern of decline. And so in her book, she talks about where we are at this moment in time in terms of that life cycle of a civilization. And it's just not pretty. But I don't know, you're all pretty awake and thinking human beings, so I don't think it'd be a surprise to any of you. More quotes from the book. Let us use whatever power and influence we have, working with whatever resources are already available, mobilizing the people who are with us to work for what they care about. As President Teddy Roosevelt enjoined us, do what you can with what you have where you are. And what's the cause? It is the unshakable belief that human beings are worth our last ounce of energy. We make the choice to be there to preserve, protect, defend, champion, encourage, and honor the human spirit. She calls it becoming human beings. So she's not very spiritual in the book or in the writing, but I read the book, and when she talks about human beings, she's talking about human beings with all of the God qualities that we talk about. Generosity, compassion, kindness. Again, supporting and enabling, nurturing one another, as opposed to, in one of her podcasts, she says, instead of what we're witnessing in terms of out there, life destroying life. The name I have chosen for myself that calls me to be fearless is a warrior for the human spirit. Perhaps it sounds a bit dramatic, but it has a simple definition. A warrior for the human spirit is a decent human being who aspires to be of service in an indecent, inhumane time. And what are the tenets of being a warrior? Don't retreat from reality or from chaos. So after the election results, I had some friends, and maybe you have too, who really thought, okay, I'm going to move. I'm going to, go into hibernation. I'm just going to sort of protect myself for 4 years. Hopefully it's just 4 years. And Meg's like, no, that's not the way forward. That is not of service. We'll talk a little bit in a little minute about why that's not a helpful or a good choice. It's an understandable choice. Again, it's sort of like that fight or flight reaction when we get into our primal brain, which is, again, not the enlightened brain, but we get in that primal brain, you just want to retreat. You want to protect yourself. But we have faith, therefore we are unafraid. So don't retreat from the reality, from the chaos. Again, you may have some strong emotional reactions when you allow yourself to experience the reality, the chaos. And that is absolutely a part of the process. As we teach here, whenever you're going through those difficult challenges or the difficult times in your life, you have to allow yourself to completely feel it, to have that human experience, because that is the only way that you're able to move through it, to transcend it, to get beyond it. If you retreat, you don't heal, you don't reveal, you don't grow, you don't evolve. And so that's why you can't retreat. We can't hide from this moment in time. We can't just go into self-protection. It will not help. It will not be helpful to you. It will not be helpful to your community, to your sphere of influence, to the people that rely on you and love you and want to support you, and vice versa. This other tenet I find very powerful, and it is one that is hard for me, and I would imagine maybe hard for you. Explore the place beyond hope and fear. At 3 a.m., election night, I had avoided all the media, all the news, because I thought we were going to be in for another paradigm of months figuring out, who actually was going to win. And then, lo and behold, they start tuning in at 2 a.m., and it's over. Talk about shock, right? I don't know if you shared that or not. And I immediately, for whatever reason, I found one of Meg's podcasts, and it was a podcast called Beyond Hope and Fear. So here's what she says about hope and fear. I'm not tracking in my notes, sorry. No hope, no fear. I have been encouraging people to explore the place beyond hope and fear for more than 2 decades. It seems to be what I need to most to learn. Ain't that the truth? You teach people those things that you need to learn. That's the God's honest truth. Because I always bring it up to audiences, I've learned that it is the hottest hot button among us activists. Hope is the bedrock motivator for our work. It doesn't matter how many inspiring quotes from heroic people I present or the logic behind the advice to abandon hope. My experience is that we think that the opposite of hope is despair, and because we so desperately want to be of service and maintain our strength and energy, we do everything we can to avoid falling into the abyss of despair. We cling to hope to prevent that fall. She's saying that it's setting yourself, hope is set yourself up to fail because it's not the opposite side of the coin, but hope and fear are intimately connected. Here's what she writes later. I have learned from these frequent times at the edge that I don't need to cheer myself up or inflate myself with optimism and resolve. There was a lot of people talking about, after the election results, you have to hit rock bottom before the phoenix can rise again. That may well be true. I hope it is. But it may not be true. And then what? Are you going to hold yourself victim and let that hold you in its power? And that's what her point is. I have learned from these frequent times at the edge that I don't need to cheer myself up or inflate myself with optimism and resolve. I don't need to ignore my emotions and just get back to work. I need to accept where I am and just stay there for a while. I'm not going to jump and I'm not going to turn away. I'm going to find my ground right here, staring into this darkness. And slowly, without hope, without fear, clarity begins to dawn. This is what is. I know who I aspire to be. I know what to do. Let's get on with doing what I can, where I am, with those who are with me. Long ago, I realized that efforts to stay hopeful are a waste of time and energy. Hope is not an innocent motivator. It's bipolar. Fear is its other nature. Every time we get lifted up by a hoped-for outcome, we get dragged down where we don't succeed. Hope, then fear, the endless cycle. Again, it's like the Buddhists. Detach. What's the cause of all suffering? Attachment. Attachment to an outcome. Oh, I wanted Kamala to win so badly. And honestly, that's what Meg recounted in one of her podcasts. She was so crushed that Kamala didn't win. And she found herself reflecting, she got caught up in it herself. For me, she's a master teacher, but it doesn't mean she's immune to it. So again, I'm not suggesting or saying to any of you that you're going to be able to avoid hope and fear. It's just we have to catch ourselves, realizing the trap that we set ourselves when we go down that road. And so what are the tools? I'm not going to say weapons of being a warrior. What are the tools? Discernment or insight. So this whole description of being clear about what is happening right here and right now. Where am I? What are my gifts? What are the battles I want to choose? What are things that I need to avoid? What do I need to do for self-care? This is discernment. This is the journey of reaching clarity in terms of you holding on to that warrior ethos or that warrior spirit. And then compassion. Again, as long as you're experiencing anger or fear or resentment or hatred toward another, you will not be effective. Ultimately, you have to sit in without whatever energy, whatever vibration you might have in relationship to a situation or another person until you can become clear and compassionate toward the other. Understanding why might they be the way they are? Why did they vote that way? what was behind that, without judgment, without anger, without hatred. These are the skills of being a warrior. And finally, we all have gifts, giving without expectation. The idea that no strings attached. You offer love, support, forgiveness, gratitude to somebody or something. Don't expect anything in return. It's just purely giving of your gifts. This is the warrior ethos. So, I hope I've intrigued you a little bit about this whole concept of being a warrior for the human spirit. I want you to meet Meg. She posted a couple of Zoom meetings that she ran right after the election, and she shares a little bit about what she's gone through. And again, it's meant to be lessons for those who identify as part of the warrior community. So here she is. This was the end of the week right after the election. Now, this is a much longer interview, and so let me give you a little bit of background about what she's going to start talking about right away, because she jumps into it and you may miss it. So what she's going to describe is she's in meditation a few weeks before the election, and when she's in her meditative state, she has these guides that come to her, that speak to her, that visit with her, again, sort of beyond the veil, on the unseen side of life. And so that's what she's going to describe at the beginning of the video clip.
And I want to tell a personal story that I'm now turning into a major teaching, which was a few weeks ago. My guides are within Tibetan Buddhist cosmology. They're the divine feminine, the sky walkers, called dakinis. And I've worked with them for over 20 years. So I was in meditation, and I was just cratering. I was just going down, 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 and I was in a horrible state. And I was more than despairing. I actually wanted out. I'm done here. And one of the dakinis came in a very sharp voice. I heard her say, "Meg, why do you think you've been given all these gifts, if not for this time?" And when she said that to me, all these gifts, I actually saw all of them in a flash, like people report after death, they see their whole life in a minute. I saw all the incredible gifts I've been given. To be available, to be a teacher, to have a stable life, to not be suffering and be able to offer. And so I recognized them, and then I heard her say, "Stop whining. Stop whining." And I want to offer this as a practice for all of you now. And I really want you to take some time with this after tonight. What gifts have you been given that now you can clearly recognize, oh, they had a purpose, even if I didn't know my purpose at that time? What you learned, what skills you developed, your level of consciousness and awareness and compassion. Everything we've trained for as warriors, but so much more. All of the gifts along the way that now make sense and have meaning within this present day context. We are here, people, on purpose. We are here because we were gifted. And now it's just time to stop whining and step up.
I don't know about you, that just gives me chills. We were born to be here at this moment in time. There's a reason And now I'm going to shift and talk again about the mystical side, putting all this, what Meg shared with us, in context. And this is a slide I've shared with you before. This is based on Joseph Campbell's idea of, the hero's journey, which I framed as, and Dr. Mark used to do this too, the spiritual hero's journey. And we are all on the spiritual hero's journey. And again, just as a refresher, if you've not seen me talk through this before, so the known is the unseen side of life. It's again where we go or where we came from before we had this or will have this human experience. That's the known. That's home. And all these people that have their near-death experiences, when they leave, pass through the veil, they recognize, and everybody says, "Welcome home," and they feel this tremendous unconditional love and peace. But we enter this world with, as Dr. Mark used to say, a gift to give, a debt to pay, and a lesson to learn. We contract for that. If you heard my talk where I shared again the near-death experience of Nancy Rhines, that was the epiphany, that was the discovery she had. She contracted to go through what she went through in this life. And so I will put it to you and consider, you contracted to be here at this moment in time, to use your gifts in this crazy, inhumane world that we're now experiencing. You are gifted. And so as we enter into the unknown is this human experience, this human life. We go through these challenges and these temptations. We go through crucifixion in order to have the rebirth, the revelation, so that we have atonement, at-one-ment. And eventually we go through that multiple times in the course of this human life, and we then return home. Larger, wiser, more loving, more compassionate as we've evolved and we've grown. And we are attracting these experiences that allow us to experience this spiritual development, this spiritual growth. So I take, it has helped me tremendously to reframe exactly what's going on in our history. And it's not just the United States, it's global in terms of looking at wars and hunger and climate change that's going to drive, refugee, hundreds of millions of people being displaced from their homes because of Earth becoming uninhabitable in certain parts of the world. This is our world, and we are here for a reason. We have gifts to give, to help heal, to help nurture, to help support, to love what's going on. So I offer you what Meg calls in the book, a dwelling mind activity. The dwelling mind is where, in the corporate world, we used to say, just let that thing percolate for a little bit. You don't have to do anything with it right now, but it's just sort of like a prompting thought. And it's an exercise that you shouldn't feel any pressure to act, because action is sometimes just the way we do the bypass. You feel like, oh, okay, this problem's presented itself to me. Oh, I got to do something right away. And think, okay, whew, it's not problem solved. Oftentimes not. Oftentimes it's just a little Band-Aid or something superficial. So the dwelling mind activity, and as she said, take some time with this. Consider, what are your gifts? You are gifted. You are gifted, and those gifts are in service of what's going on at this moment in time. Where did your gifts come from? Again, was it part of the contract for you to deal with whatever the issue is that you land on, that your gifts are meant to support and serve? And then how can you offer your gifts? And then finally, just remember the tenet. Be generous with your gifts with no strings attached. Be loving, be forgiving. Be that mediator to resolve some sort of conflict. Offer support to somebody that seems like they're lost. They don't know what to do. And don't expect anything in return, even a thank you. I'm not helping that person again. They didn't even say thank you. Well, then it's not really a gift. Offer yourself. Be of service. And again, this really was relevant to me. Stop whining. You're here, people, for a reason to use your gifts. So I invite you, if this resonated at all with you tonight, I invite you to do this dwelling mind activity. It is for good. And and again, circling back now to Jamie's song. What was the lyric, Jamie?
Safe place to land.
Safe place to land. I hope that if you do this dwelling mind activity and you consider your gifts, I hope you consider this community, this church, this family, a safe place to land. I hope you feel this is one of your gifts, being part of this family, being part of this community. It certainly, in my mind, is one of my gifts. And I feel I'm going to use my gifts to keep this place, as Meg says in the book, keep this place an island of sanity, a respite from that insane, crazy world that we are experiencing and might experience again in the future. So thank you for listening. All right, let's turn within. Again, I encourage you to feel your feet anchored on the floor, feeling that connection to Mother Earth, feeling that connection to God flowing through earth. It is that foundation, unshakable. That is God in action. And then I invite you to also open at the top, your crown chakra. Just feel that frequency, that vibration of God flowing in from above, so that you are connected to earth and sky. You are part of the universe. You are part of God. God is part of you. Manifesting as love, service, wisdom, forgiveness, wholeness, compassion, kindness, prosperity, beauty, joy, peace. This is the truth of who and what we are. We are warriors. We are spiritual heroes on our journeys. And we have attracted exactly what we need to attract in order for us to move forward on that journey. And we have such gifts to give. We have such service to provide. Everyone that is in our sphere of influence, everyone that's in our family, everyone that is around us feels it, knows it. They are attracted to it. They recognize the goodness that is in each one of our members of a community, every person that is here tonight. We attract goodness. We attract things that allow us, experiences and people that allow us to grow and to offer our gifts. And it is so good. I am so thankful for every member of this community. I am so thankful for this church. I am so thankful for this teaching. I am so thankful for the ministers. I am so thankful for the practitioners. I'm thankful for everyone that is of service here in this church community. It is beautiful. I'm thankful for the music ministry. I'm thankful for everyone that listened to me tonight. Bless you. Thank you. And so with a heart full of joy and gratitude, I release my word into the law of mind, knowing it is done. And so together we say, Amen.
Please sing with us. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. And so now's the time in our service for you to offer your love offering, your tithe. And so I invite you to just take either the actual gift or your idea of the gift and hold it to your heart. And please just repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. I'm so gratefully loud. I'm so grateful. 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 I gotta come downstage because the star's right in the middle of my chest. You're welcome. Praise the Lord. I wrote this song quite a while ago, but I feel like it's pertinent. We talk just like safe place to land, because this is a safe place to land, and I know I'm a safe place to land. I know that Tony is. I know this community is. But oftentimes in my life, I've thought, what do I possibly have to bring to the table? I'm a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic. I'm addicted to like everything. And God doesn't see that. God only sees itself. Naked. I'm naked. You can't see me. Naked, Lord, I'm naked. You can't see me. Because I've been hiding behind my garbage. Hiding behind my garbage. Naked, Lord, I'm naked. You can't see me. Frozen, I've been frozen. And my history, yeah, frozen, I've been frozen. My history, but I've been thawing in your love light, thawing in your love light, frozen, I've been frozen in my history. Dying, I've been dying to what I've been, yeah. Dying, I've been dying to what I've been, no, but I've been rising like Jesus showed me. Rising like Jesus showed me. Dying, I've been dying to what I've been. Oh, use me. Oh, won't you?
Beautiful. Thank you. Jamie, thank you so much. Tony, thank you so much. Aren't they wonderful? We are so grateful. So grateful. Thank you to everybody that's helped support the service tonight. I have announcements. On your bulletin, you'll see how to make donations to our church through the text to give number, the QR code, or through our website, nhcrs.org/give. Thank you. Prayer with the practitioner is available after service in the sanctuary and on Zoom. Our chapel is open for meditation before both Sunday services. And every Sunday at 9:45 a.m., junior church is open. If you have babies, kids, or teens, bring them. I love that. Bring them. Next Wednesday, Reverend Kevin Cottle's topic is Holy, Holy Instant. First holy is W-H-O-L-L-Y. Then holy, H-O-L-Y. Instant. Meditation at 6:50, service at 7 p.m. This Sunday is our youth Christmas party. It's 11 a.m. to 12 noon in the junior church. All are welcome. This Sunday, our Loving Outreach Ministry is feeding the homeless at 12:45 p.m. at Alexandria Park. This Sunday, Grief Support Group meets at 1 p.m. in the Ernest Holmes Room. Don't forget, December 22nd, wear your holiday sweater to church. It can be ugly, it can be beautiful. You choose. December 24th, join us for Christmas Eve candle lighting service at 7 p.m. There will not be a Wednesday, December 25th, Wednesday night Heart of Healing service. We are collecting blankets and twin bed linens for the tiny home village. Please put your donation in the red bin on the patio on Sunday. Thank you. For your shopping pleasure on Sunday, everything in our bookstore, except a few select items, is 50% off. Fire sale. Well, probably not a good choice of words. Anyway, bookstore sale. Zoom meditation meets Monday through Saturday from 7:55 to 8:15 a.m. and visit our website, nhcrs.org, for all this information. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for choosing church, and now we'll sing.
Please stand and join us in singing our closing song.
Sing, let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
All right, please repeat after me. I am at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Bless you.